It is Tuesday, May 17th, 2022. This is the latest edition of Baseball Today. It is presented to you by our good friends over at Shady Rays. Go get the best looking specs in the biz. And by the way, if you break them or you lose them, you get another pair. That's what also
Hey,
makes
put
them
those
the
back
best.
on. Put those back on.
Yeah, what do you got?
Damn.
Yeah, I know.
Michelle is lucky, man.
I know. I go from like a 4 to a 6 just with the Rays. It's that simple. I love it. I love it. Before we get going, quick shout out to a couple people that we really, really care about. Kelsey Winger, of course, has been doing the dugout reports and doing an outstanding job for the Colorado Rockies, her first year out there. And unfortunately, for the second time in her career, she got pegged by a foul ball. According to Maddie Mass, who is the producer of Farm to Fame, she is doing okay, which is good. I sent her a text last night, didn't get anything back, but fully understand. She's probably swamped with that sort of stuff. So we're sending out good thoughts her direction. And also to Jake Odorizzi, who last night up in Fenway Park trying to get off the mound, blew something out. I texted with him last night. He says they don't think it's a full tear. They're going to get more news today, but it didn't look great. His spirits seemed to be pretty good, though, at least coming over via text.
I also texted with both of them last night. Will you just let me do my thing? Okay.
Please.
Kelsey, again, I did not get anything back from her, but we're wishing her well. Obviously, she's like the best. And Odorizzi, one of my favorite teammates ever. I got the same response from him. So he's optimistic, and I think they're going to find out more today. But yeah, man, just sending good vibes, baby.
Yep. Yeah, it looked brutal. And for a guy who, he had a tough time last year, got the late start, couldn't really find his way there in Houston. He felt like he was really putting it together in an arm they definitely needed. So we'll send our good thoughts to both of those people who love the sport of baseball, as do we. So let's get it going with Anthony Rizzo, who joined Giancarlo Stanton and Aaron Judge in the double-digit home run club. It's the first time in the Yankees' history where they have 3 players with at least 10 bombs in the first 35 games of the year. They have the best record going in baseball. They've been on an amazing 20-game run. How shocked are you about more than a fifth of through the season that the Yankees are looking as strong as they do?
I'm not too shocked. I think, especially on the offensive side, I think we knew that there was a lot of potential there. If we can get guys on the field staying healthy. I liked Anthony Rizzo from the start. I thought that was a great fit. I think he just looks right in New York. He seems to understand, how to play there because it is a little bit different there. I think, in some of the bigger media markets, it's different, but he handles it perfectly. I'm just not that shocked. I did go back and look. This is interesting, Chris, and I'm kind of mad at myself. I picked them to win the division. Okay, but then like a week before that, we did our over-unders. And we're like, okay, 91.5 wins for the Yankees. And I was like, in that division, I was like, I think they're just going to be just under that. I think they're going to be right at, it was 91.5. I did the over-under was. I thought 90 wins sounds about right. But this team looks like it's going to go over 90 wins. It looks like they're, going to be there at the end. So my prediction might be right about the AL East champion, but I think they're going to, do a lot better than 91 wins.
That's interesting that you picked that low a win total for a division champ. That's shocking because last year they had
the win total first.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know, man.
Got it. So they're up 6 on the Rays in the loss column. They're up 7.5 on the Blue Jays. And I think half the games are already done with the Blue Jays, who have been just kind of middling around 500 ever since a pretty fast start. The Yankees' run differential is plus 73. Plus 73. That is the best in all of baseball. Dodgers are next to plus 71, but then there's really nobody that's close after that. So with me, the biggest question is health, and it will continue to be. And it's the reason I can't fully go all in on the Yankees. They rely on a lot of guys in their everyday lineup that are over 30. They just do. And some of them have injury history. Other guys have been, stalwarts in the lineup. I don't root for injuries. It's just sometimes you expect them. And so it wouldn't shock me if at some point somebody goes down for a while, and we'll see if somebody else is able to pick up the slack. For me, the fact that they're pitching has been the best in baseball, I think is the part of the whole deal where I was like, okay, that's the biggest question I had, right? Because coming into this year, it was Garrett Cole and a bunch of guys with question marks, whether that was because of injury history or inconsistency or hasn't done it enough at this level, a la Nestor Cortez. But they have gotten check marks across the board. They have been a fun team to watch. They feel a little bit more athletic, not a ton, but a little bit more athletic. And they're in good shape. Yankee fans should be pounding their chest right now. They should be feeling good about where this team is.
Yeah, a guy like Nestor stepping up the way he has obviously helps their, position. They're right now they're first in OPS plus for their hitters, and they're second in ERA plus only to the Dodgers and with their pitching staff. So they're doing everything. They're playing better defense than they have in years. Yeah, man, New York is hot right now. All sports in New York is just freaking hot.
Yeah, New York and LA, really. I mean,
yeah,
there's an interesting article. I haven't read it. I just saw the headline, but I can't wait to dive into it. Where would you rather be a fan right now? New York or LA with your baseball teams? Because they're all right there at the top. It's pretty cool. Good stuff. The reason I am donning a Brewers cap on baseball today is because Josh Hader continues to just dominate. Got his 14th save of the season last night, has converted 28 consecutive save opportunities in the regular season dating back to last year. Is he the guy you want most on the mound in that big-time clutch situation?
I think so. You go around the league, there's some really good closers out there. Edwin Diaz has been really good this year. Raisel Iglesias has been really good for the Angels. There's another guy that I did a sequence episode on with Christian Yelich, and a bat against Ryan Helsley for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Been great.
Who has been absolutely phenomenal. He's probably been the best reliever in the game so far. But if you're talking about a guy that you can rely on in pressure situations, I think it's Hader. He's got the strikeout percentage, which you really want. You have to have the ability to miss bats in those situations. His walk rate is a little high for me this year. I think he can get down a little bit, but he's so elusive and different. I think it makes it hard to game plan against them, even though you kind of know what you're going to get. But it's just the way he goes about it, the back turn, the knee tuck, and then all of a sudden you got the arms coming at you. It's just a little bit different type of tunnel that you're trying to pick the ball up out of. And guys just rarely ever have success against him. So I do like him. I think meeting him in spring training, you see his demeanor on the mound, but then you meet him in person, you realize he's a confident guy, kind of level-headed. You can tell like he'll get fired up when he needs to, but that consistent mental factor also plays into it. I think right now I would choose him if I had one guy to put on the mound in a big situation.
And there's going to be a lot of people that go out and say, well, hold on. Didn't Freddie Freeman take him deep in game 4 for the go-ahead homer last? Yes, he did. I mean, this happens to every closer. They're like cornerbacks, right? You've got to have that short memory, and you're going to fail just inevitably. It's just going to happen. As good as some of the closers are around the league, there isn't that guy that you definitely can mark down and say, hey, man, game 7 of the World Series, I feel great about. Because most teams don't feel great about their closer situation, even if they've got a fairly dependable guy. And I think it's partly because of the way games are managed in the playoffs now. And I'm not taking a shot at the way it is. It's just very, very different than the times where Mariano Rivera would be on top of the mound when the Yankees were winning their World Series. It just doesn't feel that way anymore. I mean, if you go back and look at the last decade, pretty much of the guys who have finished off the World Series, right? In 2014, Mad Bum comes out of the bullpen and shoves, right? 2016, do you remember who was even on the mound when the Cubs won?
Yeah, I do. It was the tall lefty pitcher versus gosh, what was his
Michael
name?
Martinez was
the hitter. I talk about that because it was kind of silly to me that like those two ended up being the last matchup in that beautiful World Series that we were playing. No offense to those guys.
Mike Montgomery.
I was going to say Mike Montgomery.
Right?
Yeah.
In 2017, Charlie Morton. 2018, wasn't it David Price who was on the mound when they won it all?
Yeah.
Something like that. For when Boston won it. It was not.
19 was Hudson.
It was not Craig Kimbrell. 2020, it was Urias, right?
Yeah.
And then last year it was Will Smith. So I guess my point is that basically half of the last 10 years, it was starters who were out there finishing the games. And so I think that's kind of changed our thought pattern in terms of dominant closers. But I would agree that Hader's my choice. In fact, Omar Narvaez, who caught him last night, said it was the most dominant he's ever seen him. I think he had his most number of pitches over 98 miles an hour in one appearance. He said he's just been flat out filthy. So
everyone seems to be throwing the ball a little bit harder this year. I don't know if it's like, we're learning how to develop power, which I'm sure is a case with the pitchers, or maybe the balls have something to do with it. I love Hader. I love Williams too. That combo is incredible. I want to give Helsley a little bit of love. Okay. Because I don't know if you've seen what this guy's been doing. It's small sample size. I get it. 11.2. So 11 2/3 innings pitched. Chris, he's given up one hit. He's given up one walk, and he struck out 21 people.
Dude, what's his whip?
I don't even have it up right now. It's really good. It's like 0.0 something.
Yeah, I mean, if he's given up one hit and one walk
in 11 2/3 innings. So
yeah, so basically,
math,
if you
not
call
a
it
math
12,
pod.
Yeah, that's incredible. Holy shit.
Yeah, and he's throwing 103 miles an hour. I think he's got 3 pitches over 102. He's the second most next to Duran from the Twins.
Yeah.
So watch out for this guy too. And I remember Yelly telling me, he faced him when he was like a young guy, hit a homer off him, but he's like, this guy is lights out. And when Christian Yelich says that about you, because Christian Yelich is like me, we don't give credit to pitchers very often. So when we do, you got to listen up. And this is the guy he was talking about.
Did you just put yourself in the same breath as Christian Yelich?
Yeah, because we're friends.
Oh, okay.
Really like best friends.
Oh, okay. All right. Sorry. So Hader ended up getting the save in a 1-0 win over the Atlanta Braves, who were 2 hit. Champs, are they just going through a rough patch here, or do things not feel great in Atlanta?
I think Atlanta fans are probably going to disagree with me here because I follow some on Twitter, but I think it's just, one of those things, dude. It's just kind of, they're in a little bit of a rut. Now you're missing, I think Acuna's missed the last 5 games of some groin thing. They're trying to keep him off the IL, which I don't understand. Just like, let this guy get healthy, please. They just had to put Matzik on the IL. And you know what? They were two games under 500 in April. They're 2 games under 500 in May. Like, they played some good teams. It's going to be okay. Remember where we were at, during the middle of the season last year. That's what I'll tell Braves fans. They've been middling. Their pitching has been about average. Their hitting has been about average if you're going by OPS plus and ERA plus. So we're waiting for the big breakout. When you have the World Series, we talk about World Series hangover. I told these guys, just keep drinking, baby. Just keep drinking. But, it looks like they're a little hungover. Let's get them a Pedialyte, get them back out there. There's a lot of baseball left to be played in Atlanta, okay? I'm still very, very confident in this team.
So last year they got fortunate that nobody ran away with it. And I think a lot of the Braves will be the first ones to tell you that, right? They didn't even get over 500 until the month of August. And then like by the middle of August, they finally hopped in first place for the first time. Now the Mets have hit a little bit of a rough patch, but even through those waters, they're right around 500 during this kind of tough stretch for them. So we both feel like the Mets are a really dependable team. I know I picked the Phillies to make the playoffs. I am a little bit worried about the Braves. And I saw somebody put out a story that Alex Anthopoulos might have to pull the trigger again and revamp his outfield outside of Acuna. That Duvall has not played well. He's got a 554 OPS. Ozuna, same thing. Remember, he barely played last year, the last 2/3 of the year. 615 OPS. That's not good enough. Now, are they going to, Eddie Rosario, who knows when he's going to come back? He's coming back from something that baseball players rarely have to deal with, and that is eye surgery. So we don't know what that means for him moving forward. I wouldn't put past Anthopoulos to pull the trigger again. I just wouldn't.
Of course. Yeah.
Because everybody always says, well, you got to give this team, the defending champs, a fighting chance with the guys that got there. No, you don't. There's no rules that say that. You have to. Your job is to try and successfully defend your crown. And if that means you've got to move some guys out of the way who aren't doing it, even if they're proven veterans, you got to go.
I totally agree with you. And I think that AA feels the exact same way. I expect them, if they're continuing to middle around like this, yeah, of course they're going to go make a move. Of course they are. I think they know that they have a good enough squad that they're going to be in contention, come September. We'll see what happens with the Mets. Big loss with McGill being out for them.
Yep.
We'll see
absolutely.
when DeGrom comes back. This is the time. You said no one ran away with it last year. I don't think anyone's going to run away with it this year. I think the Mets got off to a really hot start, but we know that division is going to be really tough. There's going to be 3, if not 4 teams, up there fighting for that division. So Braves have to, I don't think, if you're 4 games under 500 right now, you're just fine. Stay around 500, make your move, go. You're going to be okay.
Wouldn't you bet on Anthopoulos pulling the trigger on something at some point?
100%. There's a few GMs throughout the league that definitely are going to try to help their teams if they're, in contention around the trade deadline. He's one of them. 100%.
Also, back-to-back games where the Braves struck out 16 times. I know
They're
that
the Brewers.
Dude, there's only 27 outs in a game. You're okay with 2/3 of your outs coming via the strikeout?
Sometimes did you see Freddie Peralta last night? He was filthy.
I'm not saying it, but back-to-back games, I get it. They played 11 innings on Sunday. Still 16 strikeouts.
And didn't
way
and
too
I think
many, man.
Yeah, I know. I think Hader struck out 3 and Williams might have struck out 3. So there was some at the back end there. You kind of just got to go like this.
That's a tip of the cap for those of you that are audio only today.
Oh yeah, we do a podcast, don't we?
Yeah. People are like, "What happened? What did Trevor do?" It was a cool little
tipping
tip
my
of the cap.
green hat.
What does that say today?
Just Calabasas, just repping.
Oh, okay.
What do you
There you
told
go.
you?
It is.
I know I've never heard that word until you told me. Like, what does hoity-toity even mean?
Yeah. What does it mean? What do you
Well,
think?
I know what it means, but
hoity-toity?
what's the origin?
Like upper crust, like royalty.
I
don't
know
know what
that,
the origin is.
Yeah, what's the origin?
I don't know where it
You just
came
made
from.
that shit up.
I went to a private boys' school in Cleveland, Ohio. That's where it came from, because that was the most hoity-toity school ever. All right, let's move on to a guy who struck out the side in his Chicago White Sox debut and just continued to dominate through his 6-inning stint of shutout baseball in Kansas City. Johnny Cueto, bullpen couldn't get it done. They had to go extras, and Luis Robert took care of business after that. So with Cueto, what's your confidence level that he can remain a viable part of this rotation moving forward?
I think he can eat innings. That's what I think he can do. I think, there
that
comes
sounds like a backhanded compliment right there.
No, I'm confident in his ability to keep the game close right now. Okay. How old is he? He's 36 years old right now.
Yep.
He's gonna be a 4 ERA type of guy, 4.5 ERA type of guy. But he's an arm that you can let go. You can let him get deeper in the ball games. We know, the bullpen was supposed to be a real strong suit for the White Sox. And we were talking about, hey man, their starters only need to go about 5 innings because they have so much length in that bullpen. It really hasn't been that way. So we need guys going longer in the games to save this bullpen for later. I think that's exactly what he is for this team. And I'm happy, man. It's fun to see Johnny Cueto pitching. He looks good in a White Sox uniform. Pitching Ninja did this great mashup of all this, silly things he does with his windup.
Yep.
And, I said, he's going to eat innings for you. And once in a while, you're going to get a dominant start. Once in a while, you're going to get a blow up start. But I think the White Sox just need a little bit of length, some depth, and he's going to provide that for them.
Yeah, here it is. Robbie Scirocco has pulled it up. Crazy. That is really, really good.
Doesn't he look good in this uni?
He does. It's slimming on him, as we like to say.
That's what it is. I think you're right about that.
Plus the shorter dreads for him. I kind of liked it. I dug the look. Everything about him was fun. I watched his first inning where he had Whit Merrifield, who I know is not having a very good year, but still, at least he usually puts the ball in play. He took a terrible hack on a slider. Benintendi got caught. I think it was on a 2-seamer that came back. Might have been a sinker. And then he got his old battery mate, Salvador Perez. He became the first White Sox to strike out the side in his team debut since Wilson Alvarez in 1991. It was pretty cool. I love watching him pitch because it's just so different, right? It's so different. And how, by the way, you faced him when he went over to the Royals in 2015 and helped them win a World Series, and he was throwing a lot harder back then. How tough is it when you're trying to stay back and try to figure out when the ball's coming? Because he'll quick pitch you too. It's not just the delay game.
I always, in my mind, I didn't mind it. In my mind, I didn't mind it. Interesting. But it does mess with you. Like, even if you tell yourself, it's no big deal. I know when to get ready. Like, even thinking that gets you off of thinking about your game plan, or like we're, zoning up and stuff. And he's just another one of those guys that can add and subtract. Obviously, we know about the wind up and the timing aspect of it. But he's another guy. It's just hard to game plan for him. So you really, for me, I remember facing him, even when he was with the Reds, you just kind of got to look at in a zone and go from there. I don't know what my numbers are against him. Robbie, is it Robbie today? Yeah, Robbie. Maybe check those out for me. I think I'm pretty good against him.
Well, so when I watch him, teams do look lost, and I always wonder how guys do hit him. Is it because, like, people say his 91 or whatever it is that he's throwing these days plays much harder because it'll get on you? How does he get hit? What is it? What happens?
I think location for him, like, if he's over the plate, like, his stuff he doesn't have like nasty, disgusting type stuff. That's why he's doing the timing, messing with your timing. That's why he's adding and subtracting from his pitches. So if you can get him over the middle of the plate, that's when he gets hit.
Got it.
Hey, shout out. I talked about eating innings for the White Sox. 2014, he led the big leagues, 243 and 2/3 innings pitched. That's a lot of innings, especially for modern day baseball.
But when you say an innings eater, that usually doesn't go hand in hand with that's a dude I want on the mound. An innings eater to me sounds like a back of the rotation guy who we're trying to save because we don't want to have Michael Kopech go out there and throw 180 innings. Like, that's what an innings eater sounds to me. And there is a viable place for guys like that in the game.
Isn't that what he is?
But not in 2014, he wasn't.
Oh, no. I'm talking about now. That's what he is. But in 2014, okay. I mean, he was an all-star.
Right.
He was a Cy Young. He was second to Cy Young that year. No, I wasn't. He pitched a lot back then. 200 innings is the benchmark. 243 and 2/3. My goodness.
That's a ton in today's game. Holy shit,
that's crazy.
That's a lot.
That's legit 2 seasons worth of innings.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for some guys.
Let's see, Rob.
Rob.
1 for 6 with a single.
I remember that single though, baby.
Oh my God.
I do. I think it was in Cincy. I believe I got a hit, like a single over the second baseman's head. That's the only thing I remember. I was like, yeah, I probably hit him pretty good.
Dude, at your next hoity-toity barbecue in that palatial estate in which you live, don't be telling everybody that you used to rake against Cueto, because it ain't true. Okay? You can tell them about Kluber, because, we got the numbers to back it up. You can talk about being the best position player versus position player hitter in the history of the sport. That's true. Let's not grow all these
Mariano, Bruce Chen. I can go on and on. Roberto Hernandez, aka Fausto Carmona.
It's all there. Tigers took care of the Rays yesterday down in St. Pete. Hilarious moment as Brett Phillips hits one to the roof. So he just keeps running. It was like something out of the Adam Rosales home run sprint. Yes. Do you love when guys don't know what's going on at the Trop, or does it bother the hell out of you that he couldn't enjoy the home run trot?
I think Brett Phillips probably loved that more than any home run trot he's ever done. It bothers me a little bit. I know you just have to just take it for what it is. That field is just something else. And like, I called it home for a little bit and I actually kind of grew to like it. I don't know what that says about me. But even when you get explained the rules, and you do every time you go in there, like, remember, this ring is this, that ring is this. You don't know when the ball goes up and it hits something in the sky. What are you supposed to do as a baseball player? You don't know. I've lost games because of it. I've won games because of it. It's unique. I'll say that. And like I said, I grew to like it a little bit. For as much trash that gets talked about it, there's something, unique and like homely about it. So I'm not going to sit here and trash the Trop. Okay.
Homely or homie?
Homely.
Homie. No, because homely is ugly.
I mean, it's homely. Yeah, it's ugly. That's for dang sure, Chris. But you know what? You can love something that's homely.
I just think everything should be in play. I don't think there should be any automatic home run or double or whatever it is. And if it hits the roof in fair territory, and goes into the seats, you have to retrieve it and play it as is. It's like a golf ball. Play it where it lies. Let's go.
Perfect. Lands in someone nachos. Throw it in, baby. Do you know when it rains there? And obviously it rains pretty much every day during the summertime. And sometimes it's massive amounts of rain. It sounds like it's loud and like it sounds like someone's playing the drums the entire game. It's gosh, the more I think about it, it's horrible there. It's horrible, but there's something I can't quit you, Trop. I just can't.
What do you have coming up on John Boy Media?
We're gonna go film the Wednesday episode of Talking Baseball after this with Jimmy and Jake and BBD. And then we have the recaps. If you want to go check out what happened over the weekend, we filmed that yesterday, the series recap. So got those out right now. What about you?
Getting ready to converse with Logan Webb of the San Francisco Giants later on this morning. That'll be out on Thursday. And then setting up Miguel Rojas. We have to do that a little early because of my John Boy upcoming trip that I've got later this week, and that'll come out on Monday. So it'll be good to catch up with a couple guys, including Logan Webb, whom we had a nice chat with when we saw him down at Dodger Stadium not all that long ago. So there you go. Thanks to everybody for however you consume us, whether it's on our John Boy Media YouTube channel, whether it's via wherever you download your podcasts or on the AMP app. We do greatly, greatly appreciate it. And remember, you can join us every Monday through Friday live on that AMP app. Just download it on your iPhone and use the code word baseball today. For our outstanding producer, Robbie Scirocco, and my man T. Plouffe, repping Calabasas, I'm Chris Rose. We'll see you Wednesday on Baseball Today.